What's up? What's going on? What's going on? Watching my Timberwolves rock Phoenix 102-80. Um, this game one looks like it's in good hands. So while watching my Wolves, I figured I'd jump on for a little bit and just talk. I've been what's going on, Daniel Berry? I've been not making content as much. Well, I'm not gonna say that because if a person takes like 2 or 3 days, obviously it's probably for a good reason. But I haven't really been making content because I've been trying to just get myself right physically and mentally. But I got always more content coming. And we here just to talk to you guys a little bit about some WNBA stuff, maybe a little Hawkeyes basketball. Meanwhile, Anthony Edwards is losing his mind for my Wolves. I mean, we are just burying Phoenix right now. But um, to the WNBA, I'm looking forward to this season more than almost any season in the past couple of years. I mean, I was hyped to see last season when we had, what was it, Breonna Stewart hooking up with John Quell Jones and Sabrina Ionescu in New York, and watching them go up against the Aces super team. So, super team versus super team. I thought all season long, um, the Liberty and Aces matchups was something to look forward to. Initially, I was worried because, yeah, in the season, they got the best of us couple of times. So I was like, man, what's going on, Thomas? Watching my Timberwolves, bro. Timberwolves is putting it on the Suns right now. And meanwhile, while looking up at that occasionally, just talking about the Aces and the Liberty last year's WNBA Finals, which didn't terribly disappoint. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I think that with all of the hype though surrounding the WNBA this season, with the great draft just recently that was set record breaking numbers. I'm expecting just things to really just jump off the map. Ticket sales. I can't say state to state, but what almost every other state. They really need to put some of these teams in almost every other state or every state. I mean, that would be great. Obviously, you only got what 12 squads, so you're not going to be able to put teams everywhere. But it would be amazing if they could. And so by 2028, 16 teams is a good possibility. I see some real money coming into the WNBA. What, for the first time ever? It's going to be amazing. Ticket sales have gone up. Merch has gone up. Caitlin Clark's going to generate so much money. You're also going to see Angel Reese generate so for their respective teams. So and for the league. So Caitlin's going to generate a whole lot of merchandise. Um, it's going to be a whole lot of sales for Indiana. Same thing for Chicago. There's going to be a lot of money being generated. And I just think that if you aren't a fan of the WNBA, this would be your season in particular to want to watch the WNBA because it's going to be lit. Now, obviously, every team, I can't lie, every team in the WNBA is not good. I'm going to try to pull up last season's standards, but every team is not good. So I will say that. But most teams are competitive in the league. Um, oh wow, I'm looking for the standings, thinking they would still have the standings right, but they got the new standings. It's not even time yet. It's not. It's. I mean, it's getting close. You got like 24 days before the season tips, but it's like it's not even time right now. I know what I'm gonna have to do. I'm going to have to go back and look at like the 2023, yeah, 23, 24 season. But yeah, guys, I'm thinking it's going to be a amazing WNBA season. I will be covering the Aces and the Fever. After much debate upon that, I will definitely be doing Fever games. This is crazy. It comes up and then it doesn't come up. It's like, I should just pull it up on the TV, but I'm watching the Timberwolves game right now, so I'm not gonna try to do that. Anyway, guys, what's going on? I'm just looking forward to again. Here we go. Wait a minute, that's not the right season. That's the season. I hit the wrong button. But in any case, guys, I'm looking forward to this year. Things I'm looking forward to: watching the Seattle Storm, watching to see how NECA plays with Jewel Lloyd. Same thing with Skylar Diggins. I'm definitely looking forward to that new big three they got. Okay, here we go. I done got it pulled up. Let's see if I can see more standings. And if it doesn't take forever to load. Also, of course, I'm looking forward to the Aces every time the season ends. And we go a couple of weeks. I miss seeing the Aces play, so it's going to be another exciting season watching them play. And obviously, Caitlin Clark, she will be making her debut. But this is what I wanted to show you guys. Yeah, me too. High vibrations. So I mean, when I told you guys every team isn't that great, this is what I'm talking about. See the Liberty dominant, right? 32-8. Does it show they home and away? Of course it doesn't. But Sun 27-13, another good team. You're looking at last year's. Green 19-21. I think the roster is better than what the record showed. But again, I mean that's not a really good record. Same thing with the Mystics 19-21. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to say the Mystics made the playoffs. I know the Sky made it. Even 18-22, the Sky made the playoffs with a negative record. Then you look at the Fever. Obviously, this is going to change, guys. Um, this is going to change. The boss, you say this dream was horrible. Honestly, it's shocking they got 19 wins. Yeah, they do have some talent though. Cheyenne Parker, Ryan Howard, they do have some part. They do have some talent. And as the season went along, I thought Haley Jones looked more comfortable because in the beginning, I was like, Haley Jones, she just looks lost out there. Um, but yeah, that's probably gonna change. The Dream should they should do a little bit better this season. I feel like the Sky, it's a no brainer with Camilla Cardoso and Angel Reese. They're probably gonna have a plus win percentage. If nothing, I don't want to say that the Sky are gonna win a lot of games because we got to see what their guard play looks like, and we also have to see if Cardoso and Reese can play on the floor at the same time. Do you guys think the Sky might try to? I'm not gonna say they won't try because that's kind of crazy, but I gotta find another way of saying it. Do you guys think that they might not win as many games so that they could be in the running for Page? Because I think that the Minnesota Lynx, that's also a team that could try to be in the running for Page. But I think that the Lynx have too much talent and they're not going to be um they might be in a draft lottery, but they're not going to be like up there like in the top three to be able to select Page. I could be wrong. Leia Clopper can be as consistent. They should win at least 18 plus. She got traded to Phoenix, the boss. So that's gonna be interesting in itself because I don't think Copper wanted to be part of the rebuild, so she asked out. And then when you look at the Fever, right? I mean, obviously they're gonna win more games than 13. They're gonna be on TV 36. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She didn't want any part of the rebuild, bro. She just wanted to um, move on from that. And I can't say I don't. I mean, I don't know if she did the right thing, but I do think she fits in more with a veteran team like Phoenix with BG, Diana Taurasi, Sophie Cunningham. Um, if they can get healthy, Phoenix can probably go out and try to compete to win it all. I'm gonna talk about them in a minute, but I think even by accident they got to have a better campaign than they had last season. I definitely think the Mercury should be on the rebound, on the upswing of things. And I'm interested in seeing if they keep some of that young draft talent like Jazz Shelley and Charisma Osborne, because you guys know that cuts are coming soon. We know that. But the Fever, the Caitlin Clark effect is a true thing, a real thing. That's not just me speaking from a place of bias. You guys know I'm a big Caitlin fan. I feel like I missed somebody comment real quick. Oh, that was Vibrations. He said he was excited for the WNBA season. Tarasi at age 41, um, how much will she play? How healthy will she stay? But I think, what do you guys think that the Fever their record will be? I'm thinking that the Fever, since they won 13 without Caitlin, I'm thinking that the Fever probably could win at least 23 games. They'd be like 23-17. I don't think they're gonna like have a super incredible season like the Sun or the Liberty did, like they did last season. But I do think that the Fever could at least win 23-17. 23 wins, 17 losses. I mean, is that too high? Or do you guys think that they will win more? Because I just think that Caitlin Clark is going to speed up this gameplay so much. The transition game is going to be off the charts. She's going to get some of the easiest, most wide open shots in her life. She's playing with some of the best teammates she's ever played with. Aaliyah Boston could benefit from this, and Clark can benefit from this because at Iowa, she just was required to do so much. I don't think Clark is going to make that much of a difference. Her start, her initially, I feel like her start is going to be one of growing pains. I don't feel like she's going to come out there and light it up. But then again, I wouldn't bet against her. I mean, it's a great possibility that she could just step out on the floor from day one and just bring so much excitement. But my thing is, will it translate into wins? Because I definitely think that the excitement, the marketability, all of that stuff is going to be off the charts. But we will see, though. I mean, they're definitely not going to have a record anywhere close to this. It's going to be really interesting because the Sky and the Fever kind of, they weren't good last season, and now we're going to see, what these teams look like with what we consider to be like the Magic and Bird, right? I mean, Clark's compared to Bird. I mean, I don't know, Angel Reese is definitely not Magic Johnson, but in terms of just what they're bringing that we've never seen before, I think it's really interesting. I mean, if both teams don't have good seasons, I wonder will people still watch? And that's a really good question. Will people still watch, you think, if the Sky and the Fever have rough campaigns? I think that's something to really, have a question mark. I feel like her style of play was fitting for college, not WNBA ball. We'll see. I mean, the great ones always adapt, right? I mean, if she's truly a great, whether it be during the first half of the year, whether it takes almost the whole season for her to get acclimated, whatever it takes, I think the great ones will adapt. Again, I think she is going to have so much talent to lean on, and she definitely tries to find the talent as well. She definitely doesn't. As much as people think Caitlin's a ball hog, I mean, she played the card that she drew at Iowa, which required her to do what? What did somebody tell me? 60% of the no, not that high. Caitlin had to do like 55% of the scoring for Iowa, and the rest of the scoring was like Hannah Stuckey and Kate Martin. And we're gonna talk about Kate Martin in a little bit. And her aces. Now let's jump to this Western Conference really quickly. Let's jump over to wait. You said she'll definitely have to show up every game because everyone gonna be looking to show her up in the league. So she'll see a lot of different defenders on her. Yeah, that's you accurate about that, which leads me to say the safest thing for Caitlin to do the safest thing for her to do should be looking to set up her teammates, because you're not going to be able to focus on everybody. You can't stop Nalissa, Aaliyah, Kelsey. What are you going to do with Lexi Hall and Katie Lou Samuelson, roaming on the 3-point line? Let's see. You don't think her selfishness cost them the championship down the stretch? No, the boss, because, I mean, if I'm going to be honest with you, I think at best we could have did was lose that game um, at like 10 points or under. I think at best we would have lost that game like by like 4 or 5 points at best. And it was still respectable that we lost that championship game by 12 points. Did she take some bad shots? Absolutely. I don't know if you caught the previous live I did like 5 days ago, but I talked about how during the season, Caitlin took 886 shots, and like 546 of them was threes. Or at least it was around that range, 546 for threes. She can't jack up that many. I know it's for the men's game and the women's game. It's a 3 point shootout now, but you don't have to take that many 3 point shots when you playing with much better talent, potential. I'll say Aaliyah Boston, if she can stay healthy, she's a Hall of Fame talent. And we'll see with Nalissa Smith and Kelsey Mitchell. We'll see about them on that, HOF track. But she's going to be playing with great teammates. So I don't think she needs to put up that many shots unless she's like wide open. And so that's going to be dialed back. Those turnovers, she's got. Oh wow, Anthony Edwards just ripped somebody who think KD or somebody turned the ball over. Phoenix is getting killed. But yeah, she's gonna have to bring those turnovers down immensely. 5 turnovers a game. She definitely the boss, and everybody else watching. She definitely got to drop those turnovers because, I mean, I would say earlier on in the games, maybe they're not so much of a problem. But as the game gets deeper in, those turnovers can hurt you. And she can't be as careless with the rock as she was against Raven Johnson. See, people give Raven Johnson a lot of props for what she did to shut down Caitlin Clark, which they should. Raven Johnson was on her revenge tour, and she got a chance to play the same woman who, shrugged her off, countless times. So she was able to get back, and salute to her and her squad for that. But Caitlin let a couple of times, not all game, Caitlin let Raven off the hook. She was careless with the basketball. She has to definitely grow her game. Caitlin's got to get much better in terms of shot selection, pump fakes. I mean, because if you shoot, I have nothing wrong with the logo threes, but if you start to brick too many of them, case in point, watch the first game when Caitlin Clark played Kansas State during the season, and she was just throwing up threes and they was missing. She wouldn't try nothing else. I mean, you can't do that. I mean, you can't have that kind of selfishness. You can't have that. But looking at the Western Conference really quickly, Aces 34-6. You guys know I'm an Aces fan. I feel like we at some point we were on a mission to only lose like 2 games. Then players got hurt, and then we ran into the Liberty, and the Liberty they hung like what 3 losses on us during the regular season. The boss says you can't shoot those logo threes when it comes within the last 4 minutes. Now, I mean, only way in today's game, the three, the coaches don't demand. I feel like the coaches don't demand the players. I feel like they're not as stern about shot selection. I feel like during the course of the 90s and early 2000s, the coaches were adamant about where you got your shot. Today, the coaches don't really focus as much on shot selection. But I do think if a player is missing like crazy, they're not efficient from out there, you got to pull them to the side and say, no, you can't keep shooting all these threes. And then the other thing is the boss. I don't know if you caught the press conference with Caitlin Clark, her introductory press conference, but Christy Sides, the coach, kind of sniped at her like, you're going to play some defense. And we all know that Caitlin Clark, her defense is, I'm not going to even lie to you guys and say that it's mid. Her defense, to me, I'm biased. To me, her defense, I'm not going to say it's terrible, because I know that she plays the passing lane, and I know that she will block shots, like she's a good, like, sneak blocker. She'll come behind you and block your shot. But her defense needs a ton of work. Unless she wants to be the second reincarnation of Sabrina Ionescu, she's gonna have to work on the defensive side of the ball. And I think it would be better for her to establish lay some groundwork in terms of being a good defender earlier than later. You know, I mean, if you put it this way, you have so many people that's going to help you on offense. So don't you think you could expend a little bit more energy on defense? I mean, they're going to have talks with her if she's not as receptive, because I know Caitlin kind of played a little bit about it. She said, "Well, um, I know coach is going to ride me about my defense, but maybe I'll just score more points." And I'm like, is that really the solution? Is shooting really the solution? You said Aces due to definitely repeat again. I can't see a reason as to why they wouldn't, unless the New York Liberty are hell driven to get revenge. You said that a bad shot doesn't exist. Yeah, I definitely get that. For real. You know what? Give me a second. Give me a second. You know what, guys? I'm in the stream. We gonna come back though. We gonna come back. We definitely gonna come back and talk a little bit more. But yeah, I'm in the stream right here. We gonna come back and talk more.